How's it going, people? Salmon here, and we are now going to do the Void Stairs Back, which is the final part of the Void series so far. So, quest requirements for this: you will need to have completed a Void Dance, you'll need 78 attack, 70 construction, 70 crafting, 71 firemaking, 80 magic, 70 smithing, 78 strength, 55 summoning, 10 defense, and completed the conquest tutorial. As you can see, the items required is a hammer, tinderbox, hard leather, limestone bricks and logs, but you can collect all of these while doing the actual quest. So, items you actually need, they can all be obtained in the quest, so there's no need to worry about them. I would highly recommend some good mage / melee defense armor. Ganadymic works very well for this. You'll also want a super extreme or overload set, or if you're going to use range or mage, obviously a mage or range set. You'll also be wanting some brews and super restores if you're a lower level, because the amount of damage you take will be fairly high. If you're a higher level, you can easily get away with just using Rocktail. So as soon as you're ready, talk to Korasi in Volatile Park, and she'll end up handing you some black armor. And once you've got that, we now need to head over to the Black Knight's Fortress. The Black Knight's Fortress is located just north of the Dwarven Mine entrance, or just west of the monastery next to Edgeville, as you can see on screen. And as soon as you get up here, just enter the door, make sure you've got your black armor on, and as soon as you enter, the commander will come over and start talking to you, and he'll immediately teleport you away. So once you've been teleported, talk to Captain Gilroy. And you'll suddenly appear in a room, and you'll get a little cutscene. So now we have to fix the doors so we can continue. So talk to Captain Gilroy, and as soon as you've done that, start checking the crates from right to left. And you'll find out that the labels on these boxes are wrong. And then you'll have a little conversation with Gilroy. So this little puzzle, as far as I'm aware, is the same for everybody. But if it's not, I'll explain how to do it. It's fairly easy. But check every single one of these boxes here, all 5 of them on the right hand side. And you'll end up gaining 5 boxes with different numbers on them. So me personally, as you can see on screen, I've got the actual weights that I had myself. I'm assuming this is the same for everybody. If not, the easiest way to do it is start with whichever box you want. So for example, box 5, and use it on Gilroy, and then use another box on Gilroy, and he'll tell you the weight difference, whether or not number 5 is lighter or heavier than the other. Do that with all of the boxes, so keep using 5 with every single box. And for example, if 2 of them are lighter and 2 of them are heavier, that would mean box 5 is the middle weight. So in this case, box 5 would be weight 4. Then all you've got to do is exactly the same process with the others. So for example, if box 5 really was weight 4 for you, all you have to do is check 2 boxes that were lighter, and work out which one of those 2 is the lightest out of the 2. And then you've got weight 2 and 3 worked out. Hopefully that made sense to everybody. But as soon as you've worked it out, talk to Gilroy, and he'll ask you for the correct weights of the boxes. So just tell him which ones are which. It shouldn't take you too long. And as soon as you've done that, he'll take the boxes off you. Now you need to check the wall just in between those boxes, and you get this little puzzle here. The answer is 5244 on the top line, from left to right. On the bottom line, you'll want 2256. If for whatever reason that doesn't work, which it really shouldn't unless you've made a mistake, there are a few other variations. You basically just need to equal 15 on both sides. So quite simple. As soon as you've done that, make sure you pot up before you enter this room, as we're about to fight a few monsters. So take your superset, your prayer renewal if you ended up bringing those, and enter as soon as you're ready. This fight is fairly simple. It's just the basic mobs from pest control. All you need for this fight is just protect from melee. I'd highly recommend killing the spinner first, as just in pest control he does heal. Your next one to take out would be the torture, as he uses mage attacks. And then you can kill the shifter and the brawler. Upon death, as soon as you kill these pests, they actually drop like a little box, a security block. You'll need to pick these up, as we need them to pass this room. As you can see, it's a fairly simple fight. They don't do an incredible amount of damage, and Gilroy should take care of the shifter, not the shifter, the defiler, so you don't have to worry about the ranger. So as soon as you've killed them all, talk to Gilroy. And ask him what to do next. So now you've got 3 perfect blocks and 1 broken block. Just behind Gilroy on the wall, you can fix that. Just to the right of Gilroy on the eastern wall, there's another spot missing the security blocks. Put it there. There's another one right next to it. Put that one there. And we now have to fix this security block before we can place it in the last spot. So exit this room by going to the south side, or north side I think it is. And as soon as you're here, head towards the northwestern side. And there should be a furnace just by here. If you didn't bring your items, I'll show you how to get them now. Check this southwestern box in this room, and that'll end up giving you your limestone brick. You then want to head directly east until you hit the prisons. And there should be a crate right next to the prison. Check that and you'll get your hard leather. Then you want to head north into the large area and go to the very first right hand side door and check the crate in this room, and you'll get a hammer and tinderbox. Head back to the furnace and repair it. Now we need to get the final piece, which is a log. So you want to head back up into the large room. And this time go in the kitchen on the top right hand side and search the crates in here, and you'll find a log. So as soon as you got the log, head back to the furnace and use the log on it. And as soon as you do that, light the furnace. Then use your broken security block on the furnace to fix it. Alright, it's time to head back into where Captain Gilroy is. So head back down to the southeast, where you come from, and head through the door. So once you're in here, just head on up to the door that was locked, and in the northeast corner of this room is the final place we need to put our security block. And as soon as you've done that, it should say hear a click, and now you can open the door. On the east side of this room, there's a panel you can check, and you want to check for magical traps. Then you want to open the panel again, and this time we've got to fill in this little puzzle. Fairly straightforward. I can't really explain which blocks you need, so it's best to watch this on screen. But the idea is we need to get a horizontal line going all the way across the center pieces. So as soon as you've done that, just click on continue, and the next door will be opened. So go ahead and go on through. At this point you'll get a nice longish cutscene. Gilroy will then call in Lord TheCompleteRS, or TheCompleteRS, whatever his name is. He'll then ask you to take off your helmet. It doesn't matter which you choose. I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter which one of these you choose either, but try to explain it logically is what I chose. At which point Korasi and Jessica and Tiffy will appear, and they'll have a little argument amongst themselves, then decide to form an alliance and ask you if you want to lead it. So, say yes. At which point you now need to talk to Commander Tia. Agree. He'll tell you that you need to speak to Korasi. You can try talking to Tiffy and TheCompleteRS for a little bit more information. Doesn't really need to. So go ahead and talk to Korasi, and she'll end up giving you the korasi sword. At this point, you can't actually keep the korasi sword. You do need to complete the quest. If for whatever reason you leave this place to bank just before the boss, there's not a problem, because all you need to do is talk to Korasi again once you're back, and she'll give it back to you. So anyway, head through the portal, and you'll get a massive cutscene where you'll find the perpetrator who's messing about with all the pest queens, and he'll summon a load of pests, and we now have to play our own little conquest game. Jessica will run off and end up getting captured like an Egypt. For this section, I can't really give you a guide as it is random every time, as it is a conquest game, so it doesn't really follow a set pattern. So after a long ass conversation between Sir Tiffy, Korasi, TheCompleteRS, and Commander Tia, eventually you'll end up getting thrown into this conquest match. So, the one thing you need to really be careful of is the splatters. As although they don't do an incredible amount of damage and they haven't got a huge amount of life, they will explode whenever they attack, or you attack and kill them, which can cause quite a lot of collateral damage. I'm trying to show you all the attacks and health of the enemies. The Ravager is fairly lethal. They're quite a good thing to try and take care of quickly. The Defiler is the Ranger. It's exactly the same as your normal archer in Conquest. The Spinners are kinda like the big ol' knights. They don't actually heal anyone in Conquest, but they do have a hell of a lot of life. The Torturer is the Mage, which can be kind of annoying. And the Shifters are your basic melees. So for my little run through on this, although it will be different for everybody, personally I started off using my best unit and tried to take care of as many as I could with him. Using your range units are very helpful, although to be honest, in mine I didn't really have much of a chance to do it. And honestly, the amount of health these enemies do actually have, it kind of makes it hard for them to be incredibly useful. Your mage is handy, but your archers really don't do enough damage. Remember to make good use of your special skills, such as Battle Cry, as that will be incredibly helpful. Regenerate is also really useful, especially if you're using the same tactic as me, as you can try to keep your best unit at max life. And if you take advantage of Battle Cry and Regenerate, you can get his full life back and give him a massive bonus so he can retaliate against, for example, a Spinner. And instead of doing the basic 200-300 damage, he'll smack off a nice 500. Which really is incredibly useful. The Spinners are definitely pretty dangerous, as they've got a hell of a lot of life and take a while to take down, especially if you don't have your best unit left. So as you can see, it is a pretty close fight for myself. This is the first Conquest match I ever played, which was quite amusing. Kinda surprised I actually succeeded. So as you can see here, it's my last unit left, a Halberder, almost no life. Kind of worked out perfectly as I had Battle Cry and Regenerate just in time. And instant retaliate and kill. So I kind of lucked out on that. But eventually, as soon as you've completed the conquest, TheCompleteRS will finally mine through the wall. And it's time for the Pest Queen. Don't teleport out and bank yet. If you teleport out now and go to the bank, you cannot talk to Certificate at this moment to be able to teleport straight back. If you wait just a couple of minutes, I'll tell you when, and then you can actually bank, and you can use Certificate in Faldo Park to teleport back into the Tavli dungeon, right next to the portal. If you die while fighting the Pest Queen, you will actually be placed next to the portal in Tavli dungeon. So as long as you've started the fight with the Pest Queen, Certificate should teleport you straight back there. So there shouldn't be a lot of chance for you to actually lose anything while doing this fight, as it's relatively safe. So as soon as you're ready, head through the door and you'll get a little cutscene and you'll see Korasi fighting two monsters and Jessica being tied up against a wall. You'll then be given a choice whether or not you want to save Jessica or Korasi. As far as I know, it doesn't make any difference at all, but because Jessica is injured and decided to get captured, I will save Korasi. So the Pest Queen will come through the portal. Dun dun dun. Not that it really matters. And you'll find out that Volatile the giant turtle is actually one of Guthix's members or followers. Interesting if you like the history and lore. Other than that, you can pretty much ignore him. So at this point, you can actually bank. You want to talk to Volatile and ask him all the information. Not that it really matters at this point. So, on to the tactics of killing the Pest Queen. You can use range or mage against him, but you'll be needing protect from magic on. If you're meleeing him, I highly advise protect from melee, as you'll be using melee a lot more than magic. You won't completely negate the Pest Queen's attacks with your protection prayers, but it will limit the amount of damage you can take. If you're a high level player, all you need is Turmoil and Soul Split. If you're a low level player but you do have curses, you'll want to use Sap Warrior and Sap Mage to lower his melee attack and magic attack and his defense. So as soon as you start fighting this Pest Queen, you'll see that he raises his head like he is now. When he does that, you have to use Korasi's sword spec on him to prevent him from using a special attack. If you fail to prevent him from using a special attack, he will do 500 life points worth of damage, and that special attack will also heal him. Additionally, that special attack will actually hit all the archers and knights trying to help you kill it. So, kind of bad. As you can see now, he's raising his face. That's when you need to use the Korasi spec, when you see him do this. You've got about as much time as it takes for you to hit with a melee weapon 3 times-ish. So you've got a bit of spare time for error that you can get away with. Also, while fighting this, you'll see these little things walking around. You personally can't actually kill them. Your archers will kill them for you, which is why you need to stop his spec, so your archers stay alive for as long as possible. You'll have 2 defilers appear within this fight. I highly advise just attacking them once to get their attention. Although if you're a lower level and you're using Ganodermic like me, then you may find, because of the lack of range defense, you may be getting hit quite a bit too much from those. Your best bet is to try and walk the defilers behind the Pest Queen, and then run towards the other side of the Pest Queen and trap the defilers behind it. This way they'll still be aggroed onto you, and they won't actually be able to attack you. I highly recommend attacking the Pest Queen from as close to the portal as possible, as this will prevent the Pest Queen's attacks from killing the knights who are coming along with you from attacking. As you can see on screen, I'm not actually next to the portal, so he is attacking all the knights. For higher levels, this fight shouldn't be too hard even without the summoning familiar, as I'm doing it personally without the summoning familiar. If you do have the summoning level though, or you're a lower level and you're finding this fight fairly difficult, I highly recommend, if you have it, one of the titans which can heal you, a unicorn stallion simply for the heals. If you don't have them, then I highly recommend a fighting familiar such as an iron or steel titan, and also a spirit cat if you're a lower level summoning, as they will help do with the extra damage you may need to take out the pest queen. So for the first little section of the fight, when those 4 little round things are running around the pest queen, they will actually heal the pest queen and won't do, you basically just will not do any damage enough. You just can't do enough damage to take it out. Eventually, when your archers finally take out them, you can then do quite a lot of damage, which is the best time to actually try and take it out as quick as possible. You do not, under any circumstance, want to bring a spec weapon other than the korasi, as the korasi is needed to stop this special attack, which would be insanely difficult if you don't do it. You can, however, bring along a main attack weapon. For example, I'm using the vine whip. You could also bring a chaotic weapon if you want, or just a normal whip, or a god sword, or wherever the hell you feel like. But you must use the korasi spec to interrupt this special attack, as it will do a stupid amount of damage. The spec only uses 15% of the special bar, so if you've got them, I highly recommend bringing weapon special attack pots, so they can raise your special attack, as I just about run out of special attack as I kill it. So if this is a prolonged fight for you, you will want a couple of those, say 1 to 3, as you can use them every 30 seconds to get quite a bit of your weapon special back. Other than that, there's not much to this boss. Just try to keep healed up. If you're meleeing it, protect from melee if you're a low level. You could range or mage it and just protect from magic. But yeah, you need some good defensive gear. If you're a high level, Turmoil and Soul Split will literally keep you healed for 90% of the fight. So eventually you will take it down. I do mean eventually, it does take quite a while. I'd highly recommend a familiar. If you're a high level, definitely an attacking familiar. If you're a low level, you may want a healing. But the amount of extra damage would be incredibly useful to take it down that much quicker, because this thing has a hell of a lot of life. So eventually when you kill it, it'll explode, which is always nice. The defilers will still be attacking you, so just finish them off. Don't ask me why they don't disappear at the same time you rape the pest queen, but meh. So as soon as they're all dead, head south a little and talk to Korasi. And you'll get a little cutscene. And then you'll have a little conversation about what shall you do with Evil Mage Boy. Doesn't actually matter as far as I know which you choose, other than it may affect what kind of special elite void body and stuff you can get. There's 3 types. You've got the Guardian, Justicar and Executioner. I chose to just torture him with the Curious and ended up getting the Executioner torso. So I'm assuming the good answer would get you the Guardian or the Justicar, and vice versa. Yeah, choose whichever you wish. And as soon as you've done that, eventually everyone will start leaving. Commander Tier will talk to you and will end up giving you your reward. And boom, quest complete. So, for completing the Void Stairs back, you'll end up getting yourself 1 quest point, 2 books of Equilibrium, Korasi Sword, your Elite Void Knight torso for free, the ability to upgrade all your Void Knight armor, and to top it all off, 20k XP in crafting, construction, firemaking, mage, summoning, and smithing. So, the Book of Equilibrium will actually give you 50,000 XP in a combat skill above level 75. I'll show you on screen now what the Elite Void Executioner looks like. Although, to be honest, they all look the same now. So all in all, a pretty decent quest, I suppose. Fairly easy if you're a high level. It could be a pretty difficult fight if you're a low level. But just keep going for it. You'll get it eventually. And hopefully with this guide, it'll help. So until next week, I'll catch you all later.